Hey guys, Matt here. Today I'm going to show you how to use and install the MOLLE Tech Universal Traction Board mounts by BuiltRight. I'm going to show you everything that's included in the kit, how to assemble them, and then how to install them and use them. So let's get into it. Alright, so what you see here is what's included in the kit. Of course, we have the 2 composite mounting plates. We've got the 4 composite knobs with integrated brass threaded inserts here. We've got 4 M10 bolts, washers, and nuts. And then we've got some mounting hardware. This is 1/4-20 bolts, washers, and nuts. We're going to show you how to use all this in just a second. So in addition to the 1/4-20 clear zinc hardware, we also are going to include a set of 8 bolts and washers. These are stainless black oxide. These are perfect for using these universal traction board mounts with the BuiltRight Industries Bulkhead Accessory Rail. For tools, you're going to want a Crescent wrench or a 17mm wrench, a 3/8" socket if you're using the included bolts, and then a 5/32 Allen key if you're attaching this to your BuiltRight Bulkhead Accessory Rail. All right, so no matter how you're using these, the first thing we need to do is assemble them. Obviously, these have a series of slots. These 2 shallower slots are where we're going to mount our mounting pins or bolts. And then these 4 deeper slots here are for you to use to mount these mounts to whatever the surface is. So I'm going to start by mounting the bolts, the included bolts. I'm going to flip the mount over here, and you can see that the included bolt will drop right into the slot, and that should keep it from spinning. I'm going to come to the other side here and put a washer in, and then thread one of these M10 nuts down to the bottom. And I'm going to leave it a little bit loose so that I can move the mount back and forth. For now, I'll repeat that over on the other side. Okay, so one of the things that makes these universal and better than most other options, this was a problem that we had, so this is our solution, is that these are adjustable. You can adjust them independently. And we've got a couple of markings here for common sizes. So we're going to be mounting some MAXTRAX boards. I happen to know that those are 270mm center to center for the mounting holes. So I'm going to move my washers here so that the edge of the washer is just about at that 270 mark. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to snug this up. You don't have to go crazy with this. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So just to demonstrate the center to center mounting distance here, this is my MAXTRAX board. We set this at 270mm. As you can see, it's dead on. If you have a different make model of board, you are going to want to measure your center to center distance between the 2 mounting holes, and then just set up your bolts or your pins to replicate that. We think our hardware solution is excellent. If you happen to have MAXTRAX pins though, or you want a very, very quick release option, these are compatible with the MAXTRAX pins as well. So I'm going to remove the nut, set the pin through here. Again, that slot's going to capture the nut there, keep it from spinning. I can tighten down the pin. I'm going to get it right at that 270 mark again, and then I'm going to tighten this down. So just a quick comparison on the MAXTRAX mounts. These, you put your boards down, and then if you got a stack of 4, you spin the top piece here. If you got a stack of 2, you spin the bottom to clip it into place. These pins are specific to MAXTRAX with the shape of the profile here and the heights. We went with a more universal option, which of course is this M10 bolt and the knobs. Not exactly quick release, but it's efficient and it looks nice. So you may notice that these knobs have a slot in them. The purpose of that slot is so that if you wanted to drill a hole through the top of this bolt, you could do that, and then you could thread a small cable lock or a padlock through one of these bolts in order to lock your MAXTRAX in place. Most of us use cable locks or a cover of some sort to secure your traction boards, but the option is yours. Okay, so for mounting the kit, we include some universal hardware that's going to help you out. Depending on where you're mounting the kit, you may also need some specialized hardware. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how to install these mounts onto a piece of engineering extrusion. We use this in the BuiltRight Industries Bulkhead Accessory Rail. You might also have it on a roof rack or a bed rack. If you have a product that uses this, you're kind of already familiar here. So anyway, the mount can be mounted in either direction, depending on where you have space. I'm going to mount it like this so that this follows the contour of my recovery boards. And then I'm going to use some hardware that is meant for extrusions like this. There's a couple of different options. One is a T-slot nut that slides in from the end of the extrusion. The other is a drop-in nut that it will drop into your extrusion so that you don't have to slide it in from the end. So I'm going to use 4 of these drop-in nuts. and put them in approximately the slot locations that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use these 2 slots, just about like that. The next thing I'm going to do is use some of our included hardware here to get 4 bolts and washers loosely started, loosely because that's going to allow me to slide this mount back and forth to make final adjustments as we position them at the right distance for our traction boards. Okay, so part of the beauty of the universal nature of the system here is that you can move this side to side. You can move this up and down. If you wanted to move it further up or down, you would just switch to using one of these 2 slots rather than this one over here. So I'm going to get this into about where I want it and repeat this process on the other side. All right, so we got these loosely started. I'm going to get everything nice and square and straight. I'm going to center this on our rail, and then I'm going to tighten these down. After I tighten these down, we'll go ahead and set the distance between the 2 mounts using our traction boards, and our installation will be complete. Now that you've got these spaced and tightened down, you're good to go ahead and mount up your boards. And if you're using our hardware, you're just going to tighten these knobs down. All right, so then we're going to tighten these down to snug. Once they're snug like this, feel free to give it another 3 to 5 rotations. You're going to see a little preload here. That preload is going to keep this from rattling you as you're driving. Just like anything else, though, give these a little twist, give them a check periodically, make sure nothing's coming loose. So on the other end here, we did demonstrate using the MAXTRAX pins. If you happen to have those, you know, we got 2 boards here, so I'm going to twist 2 of these and get those into a locked position. All right, so now that we've shown you how to mount these to an extrusion, I'm going to break this down and show you the same process on a MOLLE panel. This happens to be a BuiltRight Industries tech plate. All the BuiltRight Industries MOLLE panels have the same pattern here. Most other MOLLE panels have some version of a hole or a slot that's going to work great with this included hardware. So I'm just going to drop one of the included bolts through and reach around the backside with a nut and a washer, get this secured. I would probably do that in 3 or 4 locations, leaving them all loose before getting the mount into its final location and tightening everything down. Okay, so the alternative to the included hardware, if you happen to be using BuiltRight equipment here, is to use a set of MOLLE nuts. So I'm going to set these 2 in place about where I want them. The BuiltRight MOLLE nuts prevent you from needing to reach behind the panel with a tool, and instead they hold themselves in place. All right, so I've got my 2 MOLLE nuts in place here, and then I'm going to use the included 1/4-20 hardware to tighten these into the threads of these stainless MOLLE nuts. Again, leaving these loose so I can make final adjustments before tightening them down. So this installation can be done using the included hardware kit, no problem at all. If you're using BuiltRight panels, the BuiltRight Industries MOLLE nuts make it very, very easy. So we've shown you how to assemble your MountTech universal traction board mounts by BuiltRight. We've shown you how to mount them and use them in a couple of common scenarios. Obviously, these also lend themselves to a number of other uses. That might be your roof rack inside of a trailer, the tailgate of your truck. Sky's the limit. That's the universal nature of these products. So with that, if you have any comments, questions, feedback, please find us in the comments, send us an email, or give us a call. Thanks for watching.